fifth set will be played on Newkirk Redevelopment Precinct. Sponsored by Photo Punch. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Protoss player from STX Seoul. His name is Trap.
His opponent spawns in the bottom left position on Newkirk Redevelopment Precinct. Boozerg playing for EGTL. His name is Revival.
Revival's certainly doing a good job at kind of reviving his Pro League statistics recently by getting a few wins here and there. Still has a ways to go, 8-15 I believe, but overall he is on an upward turn.
Definitely, Revival did not get that many wins in Pro League. In fact, he went on a huge losing streak, and fans were wondering if he was actually gonna win a game before Pro League season was over. The turning point, however, was when he took the second place finish in WCS America Finals, and then started playing in the WCS Grand Finals. After that period, he started playing a lot better in Pro League.
He certainly did. Ironically lost to his fellow Pro League teammate EGTL Hero. But certainly there's a very big shift in how he's able to handle stuff in play before and after WCS NA Finals.
Yeah, in fact, I have to say WCS NA Finals was a confidence boost that Revival needed this entire time.
Yeah, because they always said that in the practice house, Revival was a beast. He was amazing, you know, one of the best players out there. But he couldn't emulate those results when it came to live broadcasted matches. And, you know, starting to see that shift here, we're going to see more and more of Revival's power kind of come out here now. This is a hatchery first opening. Trap could go for the Forge Cannon Rush here. What's he going to do? He's going to put up his Nexus, I think. But will he put up the Forge after that and still try to do the Cannon Rush?
Yeah, well, he's just showing the probe. They're saying, you know what, I want you to pull some drones over here and have one less drone mining over there and just try to take out this pylon, not the pylon, the probe that's hidden in that little corner.
All right, well,
he's just trying to scare his opponent.
Well, it looks like he made a second pylon in his main at the natural, so Trap is going to just go ahead, get that Forge down, and play pretty standard here. Looks like he does not want to go for the Cannon Rush against his opponent.
As we have the gateway and the Forge going down, Trap the scout inside the main base, sees the timing of the spawning pool, you know, standard after a 15 hatch. Just reconfirming that his opponent is not going for weird shenanigans such as 3 hatchery before pull.
Yeah, that'd be quite odd to see. It's happened before in this matchup, but generally not on a 2-player map.
Yeah.
It's a small. Whirlwind would be a more appropriate map, I think. And even then, I think that build in general is still just a stretch against Protoss players. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be progressing into a very standard game, at least for the time being here, as we move, you know, throughout the early game and slowly into the mid-game over the next few minutes here. We do have a third hatchery being created here by Revival as well. Signs point to macro on his end.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now we still need to wait and see if Revival is going to try to cheese from 3 hatcheries or not, but most likely it's just going to be a regular game between the 2 players. And why not? The map is Newkirk Redevelopment Precinct. Yes, there might be small imbalance when it comes to stats, but it's not a huge imbalance between the 2 races. And most of the games that we see on this map is split down in the middle with the Tempest versus Vipers and Corruptors.
Yeah, indeed we do. Alright, Revival adding on some gas here, actually a little bit earlier than normal, because I'm putting them down at 30 supply. Generally you'll get them around 44 or so.
Yes.
So this could lead to Revival trying to do some type of cheeky play here. You're going to have to keep an eye on his base, see if he stops droning anytime soon or puts down maybe the Roach one early on.
We still need to wait, just wait a little bit more and see what kind of play he is thinking today. Trap, however, opening really standard, just following this up with a Stargate. No really fast start shenanigans just yet from our Protoss player.
Alright, Probe just going to try to confirm that there's an additional third base here for Revival. Extra gas is getting added on here for Trap as well, the natural. And we do have the Zergling speed on the way now for Revival. He's going to go ahead and grab that as his first gas investment, and after that will be really the curious in the spot out.
Yeah, is he going to go for the Roach Warren? Is he just going to transition into Lair? He does have up to 100 gas right now. So it leads me to believe that he's just going to play a macro game behind this. But no, Roach Warren goes down immediately as soon as I say that. I was just waiting for something to pop up. Nothing popped up, so I just said it.
Well, I mean, it's going down almost at 7 minutes here, so
Yeah.
it could purely just be normal Roach Warren timing. He hasn't really done anything with this gas here.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, if he wanted to get it early, maybe he just wanted earlier Zergling speed out. He could also get it faster later, should he desire. But he is starting to stockpile up a good amount of gas now, so that may end up being used for these Roaches. We have 8 Lings in production here. He could do a timing to try to take out his opponent's potentially third base from ever even really starting.
In fact, we're 7 minutes, 30 seconds, excuse me, into the game, and we don't see a layer from our Zerg player, making up
There
to
we
10
go.
Roaches.
All
There
right.
we go, and these Phoenixes need to go inside the main base to scout what his opponent is going for.
The mystery of the early gas has been solved here, as we do see Revival produce up to 14 Roaches down in production. He also made a good amount of Lings before this. Maybe he's just going to use this to kind of try to delay his opponent here from getting that third base. I don't see the third base actually being grabbed by Trap anytime soon here.
No, he cannot do so, especially after he sees what his opponent is going for. He's picking up these overloads, which is really nice, but he sees the Zerglings, and does he see the Roaches? Yes, he does with the Zod.
And the Mothership Core is going to see everything else here. The Phoenix, though, they're not amazing against the Roaches. There is a Robotics in production here, but look at that. There's almost no units here for Trap. He's putting down 2 Panic Cannons as well to try to defend against this attack here, but the problem is the Roaches, the Zerglings, there's really just not much units for Trap to deal with this.
Only 2 sentries, which means that there's going to be some wriggling room for Revival to take down the pylons, take down the Saddle Core, and the Gateway.
This wall here is only going to be delaying time. Trap forced to warp in a few additional sentries here. The cannons are not yet complete, but they will be soon. An Immortal in production, no Void Ray in sight. However, he's just going to go ahead and finish off this warp gate as well, reducing the units that can be warped in now. Nexus Cannon goes down as well. The Roach is continuing to work on this wall here. Phoenix is lifting up a strong amount of Roaches. Revival continuing to move in. He's ignoring the cannons. He's going to go straight for the main base as well and try to do a critical amount of economic damage. He's going to be able to get the pylon as well, to preventing any more reinforcements coming in from Trap on the gateways.
Yeah, well, he does have critical amount of units. He needs to get the pylon, which is a nice victory for him. But with Trap finishing his Immortal, he can stabilize on 2 base for now. But this was not an all-in attack from Revival. As soon as the Roaches were starting to produce, he started a layer. The Hydra then is almost finished, while Trap is forced to make Immortals.
Yeah, Revival's got a lot of good defense at home here, and up 63 workers. His opponent is going to go ahead and get the third now, but he lost the Cybernetics Core. He lost a lot of production time. He's forced to build more sentries than maybe he wanted in this point, and probably didn't even want the Immortal either early on in the game. So even though the workers killed, it hasn't been really, you know, fantastic for Revival. He is still looking like he's in a pretty solid position.
Definitely. His opponent is getting a Colossus out, but all Trap can do right now is just try to scout around with those 4 Phoenixes, and he cannot even lift up the Queen and try to snipe it because of his Sparkwaller positioning. He cannot even go for the drones right now, so all he can do is just scout what his opponent is going for, check to see if there's a 4th base going up, which is just starting right now, and just gather up a lot of Colossus while playing defensively, trying to secure his own 3rd Nexus.
Trap continuing to reinforce with a good amount of Hydras here, getting Roaches as well. The Roach speed completed and the Hydra range is also done as he moves in to get the +1 attack. Colossus is going to be the big issue now for Revival, as that's going to be the big damaging unit in his army here, and as long as he has a lot of good support for it as well, then he's going to eventually need to get some Corruptors to deal with that.
Warp Prism is a nice choice in this situation. Remember, Protoss players can use a buff the Warp Prism to put the Zerg army out of position. And using these Phoenixes to deny the Overlord scouting, very nice play from Trap. He can sneak in the Warp Prism into the main base without it being scouted.
Still keeping the Phoenix alive as well. War Prism's got a good amount of Zealots in it here. We're going to have to see if that does a good amount of damage to the Revival's economy or not. He's moving across the map, though. He's got Hydra speed about to complete here, along with that +1. A ridiculous amount of Zerglings are running across the map as well. Revival gearing up to go for another attack once again, but he needs to be able to defend against the Zealot harassment in the main base as well. The attack, here it commences. The Hydras need to be focusing down on that Colossus, though. Not the cannons, not the Nexus as well. They need to kill these critical units here.
Yeah, well, those Hydras are slightly out of position to go for the Colossus. That's the reason why he's attacking these other buildings, and he is forced out of the position while these 4 Zealots drop inside the main base.
And looks like Revival loses some units here and decides to just back off for now. Now, this is the issue. The supplies are very even at this point in the game. Up to 14 minutes. The Protoss player actually ahead, and you don't want that here. This could give Trap a nice opportunity to attack his opponent at a later point in the game.
Yeah, in fact, the Spire is not done, and Trap is getting additional Colossus behind this Blink, also finishing up 4 additional gateways out on the way as the Zealots are just finishing up a few extra drones inside the main base.
Alright, Revival grabbing 2 additional expansions here. Holy crap, man. He wants to just make... Oh, he's going for the Muta tech switch.
This is really nice because... Yes, Trap is getting the Blink Stalkers, but it's not critical number of Phoenixes, and Trap did not get a complete scouting inside the main base. So as long as he can defend against this pressure from his opponent, the Mutas are going to do a lot of damage.
It looks like Revival doesn't even want to try to defend this base. He instantly evacuates that. The Mutas are spotted as well here. This should force Phoenix production very soon from our Protoss player here. He could just try to go for a big attack at the natural here. Does Revival actually have enough units to defend against this? So that's the question. The main bulk of his army is purely Mutas.
Yeah, well, he needs to wait for the 5 additional Mutas to finish to make sure he can defend against the attack. The Stalker count is pretty good for our Protoss player right now, as he also has a Blink to attack those Mutas.
30 Zerglings in production, but that's 3 Colossi there, along with the Sentries for Force Field and the Stalkers for additional support here. Revival trying to go for a good surround here. He's got a lot of units, but the Muta count, I don't think it's enough to deal with the amount of Stalkers that his opponent Trap has.
Yeah, Trap found the perfect timing to go for a counter-attack. 2 got the 3rd hatchery, and now going inside the main base, all these Mutas are just falling to the Stalkers, as he has no answer against the Immortal Stalkers and Colossus.
The forward Blink finishes up the last of the Mutas here. Revival out of units, out of economy. GG is called, and Trap takes set number 5.
Revival going for a nice roach push early in the game, deals some economic damage against his opponent while taking out the Forge and the Cybernetics Core. But in the end, Revival, he could not defend against a Colossus Stalker timing push from his opponent, Trap.
So, excellent counterattack from Trap there. I like that he decided to go for that. That pretty much, I think, gave him the win. And on that note, we have STX Soul in the lead once again. The next match is going to be Mini versus Hera, PvP on Belshire Vestige. Don't miss that, guys. We'll be back after this commercial break.